Good morning, Pana.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, how are you?
I'm good, Beta. How are you?
Ma'am, I am fine.
Good morning, Paridhi.
A very good morning, ma'am.
How are you?
Ma'am, fantastic. How are you?
Good as well. Let us join and we will be starting. So today we have to begin with continue with the chapter 10 of history, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Any doubt do you have?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Let everybody join it. Then we will be starting. Good morning. Good morning, Soumya. Anya, Kanak, and Paridhi. Is your all work checked?
Yes, ma'am.
Sanya,
Yes.
done and checked?
Yes, ma'am. All the work is done and checked.
Well done. So let's get started with the rise of autonomous states in the 18th century. Children, although I have told you already, but can you please tell me the meaning of autonomous? When I taught you, I told you the meaning.
Ma'am, a meaning of ma'am a state of being self-governing.
Right. State of being able to govern self, having the freedom to govern ourselves, right? That's known as autonomous states. So, in the previous class, when we read the chapter, we read that how the Mughal Empire almost came to a decline. It declined gradually, right? Reasons being the personal problems between the successors, the long wars of succession, right? Weak successors, the successors of the Mughals were not as strong as the later earlier Mughals such as Aurangzeb, Akbar, they were not as strong as them. Secondly, wars of succession. Okay, large empire which was unable to control. So these were the few reasons which were responsible for the crisis of the Mughal Empire. Okay, or for the decline of the Mughal Empire. Now, after that, we read that there were many invasions in India at that point of time, and two major invaders were Nadir Shah and Ahmad Shah Abdali. Right? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. And then we also read regarding the Jagidari crisis. You remember what was it? Do you remember what was the Jagidari crisis? No idea.
Ma'am, what?
What was the Jagidari crisis? Tell me. Any idea about what it was?
Ma'am, in Jagidare crisis, there were Mansabdars, Jagirs, and Jagiris. These are there.
What was the crisis? But crisis क्या था? What was the problem? Basically, yes, Pariti. Yes, Pariti. What was the crisis, Pariti? Today, Sanya has come back as a money heist character.
Ma'am, at that time, Mughals were very powerful. Then Mughals came, so they want to capture the Six Marathis है और
Okay,
they
the
want to capture.
Kalkatari crisis was a crisis related to the ownership of land. The problem was that there were more owners than the land. Like they used to distribute land to a particular person, right? And that particular person, like they used to allot land. The Mughals used to allot land to few persons, and then those few persons were responsible for collecting the taxes and revenue from that land, and then give it to the Mughals, right? Okay, but the problem was that there were more Mansabdars than the Jagir. There were more Jagirdars than the Jagirs, right? So then they began to extract a lot of revenue from the peasantry. Peasantry refers to the poor farmers who work on others' lands, right? Okay. The nobles being powerful and the nobles, even the nobles and the powerful nobles were also weak. They were also not as strong as the later nobles. Who are nobles? Can you tell me who are nobles? No, very good.
Ma'am, may I tell?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, like nobles are the heirs, like ma'am, someone with high like मतलब उनके पास ज्यादा वो थे high.
Basically, the courtiers of the king, the people who sit at the court of the king, give him suggestions, do this, do that, they are known as nobles. Okay,
Ma'am, I thought I'm saying another meaning of nobles.
that was different. Okay, so the next part is, yeah. Now, Mughal control wanted revolts by Jats, Satnamis, Sikhs, Marathas, and many others in the northern India against the Mughal Empire. So they started having revolts. And when the Britishers and the French power came, they were the last hammer to kill the bird. So they worked as the last nail in the empire's coffin. So they totally led to the collapse of the Mughal Empire. Now, about the British and the French forces, we have to read later, not now. Right now, we are going to read about the rise of regional powers, like how these regional powers, like the Jats, the Marathas, the Rajputanas, how did these people come to power, right? So as you can see that with the declining power of Mughal Empire, right? As day by day the Mughal Empire was declining, there emerged various autonomous states. Many autonomous states were coming up, and major regional powers arose in Bengal under Murshid Quli Khan. Okay, please underline this from here till Ranjit Singh. It's very important, right? Bengal became a major power under Murshid Quli Khan, or under Sadat Khan, Burhan ul Mulk, Hyderabad under Nizam ul Mulk, and Ashaf Shah, and in Carnatic under Sadatullah Khan, Mysore under Hyder Ali, the Jats under Churaman and Surajmal, and the Sikhs under Ranjit Singh. Right? So these were the rulers who helped in, you can say, who helped in making the rise of these independent regions, right? First, we are going to talk about the Rajputs. Yes, Kanak, please read about it.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, we have done.
Raj,
What?
Ma'am,
We have done.
Rajput. Ma'am, pink city called Jaipur, and there is one
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am Jai Singh who is
Right.
very much like in astronomy is very
Okay,
interested.
yeah. So now let's get started with the judge then. Yes, Kanak, read from the judge.
okay, ma'am. The Jats. The Jats live in areas of Haryana, Punjab, and western regions of Ganga, Yamuna, Doab, and eastern Rajputana. Jat rebellion started under Gokula in 1669 and ended with the formation of Bharatpur and
Bharatpur.
under Bharatpur under Suvjalmal. The Jats attained political importance only in the later 17th century and early 18th century. the ambition of some of the judges, zamindars of, of the Agra region to establish an independent principality brought them into conflict with the Mughal government. The Rajputs and the Afghans, uh, under the
Raman.
under Churaman, they acquired control over territories situated towards the west of Delhi. For a while, they became the virtual Ma'am, what's this?
They became the virtual custodian.
Cus- Custodian of the city of Agra. Bandan Singh, Bandan Singh,
A
1722,
nephew.
a nephew of Churaman, styled himself as a feudactor of Jai Singh. He may be regarded as the real founder of the Jat state of Bharatpur, Teeg, and Kumher. The Jat kingdom attained its zenith under Surajmal, the adopted son and successor of Bandan Singh. He successfully welded the scratcher Jat Zamindars near Agra into the powerful state.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kanak. Kanak, but you need to practice reading. Because when we read, no, we should try to read in such a manner that when we are reading, the other person should get no stick with us, should get interest in that. Okay. So you read it fine, but again, you need to just be more persuasive when you're reading, right? So
Okay.
yes, the Rajputs, many new. Sorry, the judges you were talking about. Yeah. So the Jats lived in the areas, as we all know. The Jats refers to the Jats of Haryana. You know that the language they speak. You might have seen many of them. Have you ever seen the Jats in movies or somewhere?
Ma'am, I have just seen the movie Flying Jet.
Flying. Flying, that was not the Jat. He was a Sardar.
Ma'am,
You know what are Jats? Have you seen those
ma'am,
Amir Khan ones in which there were two wrestler girls?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hanji Pari.
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am, we
Ma'am,
have
we have
done
done
the Jats and the six we have done.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, we have to start from Marathas. Ma'am, just now I saw recording. I
Fine,
open
no
your
worries.
recording.
No worries. First, tell me this: do you know that whether have you seen this movie of Amir Khan?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, that one I've
Right, and you know the language they use Haryanvi in that line. That no, like how do they talk? Mari chori choriyo se kam na se. Have you heard them? The dialogue,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
popular dialogue. This is how they speak in
yes,
Haryanvi.
ma'am.
Right, these were the judges are.
Ma'am in Dangal movie.
Hanji,
Ma'am in Dangal movie.
in Dangal, yeah, I couldn't get the name. So that's what the languages of them, and they're very occur type of people. Okay. Now, as people say that we have completed Jats and Sikhs, so we'll move towards the Marathas. But please tell me, have you understood all about the Jats and the Sikhs? Because Abhi, while teaching this only, I'm asking you questions, you're not able to give me answers.
So, ma'am, in that way you can explain the six.
You tell me.
Ma'am, I'm only saying that in that way you are saying. So you may explain again six.
No, I'm asking you whether you have understood or not. I'll explain you again. I'll explain twice, thrice, as many times as necessary. But it depends whether you have understood or not.
Ma'am, half.
We have done only the reading part, not the explanation part.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just in class. I remember I'm reading and
Ma'am,
nothing
we
got
have
over.
read till ma'am 6. And ma'am, I think Harshdeep has also read Marathas till second
No,
paragraph.
ma'am. No,
Let's,
ma'am. I'm reading Marathas, but ma'am, meeting got over. Ma'am, at first, like at the first paragraph
let's
only.
begin from Marathas. Like Are you sure you have understood the previous part properly? All of it.
Ma'am, no, ma'am. Ma'am, you may explain again.
Let's go with it, no? Right then. So, like I was telling you, like these Dangal people, they refer to the Jats, right? That's how these Jats are. You might have seen many of them speaking, like they are now also they live in Delhi and all. Very commonly, they are living there as well, right? So these people were earlier a part of the Mughal Empire only, but and yeah, they lived in Haryana, Punjab, and the western regions of Ganga, Yamuna, Do. What is Do? What's Do?
Ma'am, also.
Ma'am,
Yes, no.
ma'am,
Ma'am, where is
though
it written?
means
A land for being fertile by two rivers, right? Do means two, Ab means land. Doab is a land which is being drained by two rivers, right? A land between two rivers is known as Do, right? That's why it is known as it's the land between Ganga and Yamuna. It's known as Do, Ganga Yamuna Do, right? This is a land between Ganga and Yamuna. Okay. So, and Eastern Rajputana, these are the areas where they live. And the Jat rebellion started
yes,
under
ma'am, I
Gupta.
forgot that. Like there is a text related to Doab with Alauddin Khilji, or I don't know who made it. And ma'am, but the area was in famine, so they just ma'am, they just burned their crops on fire.
Right. So yes, the Chat rebellion started under Gokula. Children, this is very important. I'm telling you, please keep marking like who was the leader of which kingdom. This you need to remember anyhow. Okay, like you can see, they have mentioned here that the Jat kingdom, right? But the Jat rebellion started under Gokula and 1669, but the formation of Bharatpur was ended with the rule of Surajmal, right? So the Jats attained political importance only in the later 17th century. Earlier, they were not politically important, but they gained the political importance in the later 17th and earlier 18th century, right? Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
right. And many of the zamindars or the Jats wanted to acquire the Agra region, right? They wanted the independent principality of the Agra region, but then again, we all know that Agra region was a very important region for the Mughals, right? How could they give them up? That is what led to a big war between the Jats and the Mughals, and the Mughals were supported by the Rajputs and Afghans under Churaman, again an important leader. What's the name? Under Churaman, they acquired the control over territory situated towards the west of Delhi for a while, and they became the virtual custodians of the city. What happens is that he may have won a war for some time, only for some time. They got the control of few territories which were situated at the west of Delhi, and Agra being one of it, right? So they got the custody of Agra for a while. Badan Singh, a nephew of Turaman. Okay, now you have to read this properly. That Badan Singh, who was the nephew of Turaman, styled himself as a fiduciary of Jai Singh. He may be regarded as the real founder of the state of Bharatpur, Deeg and Kumbh. Now, if I ask you, who may be regarded as the real founder of the Jat state, what will be the answer? Churaman, Jai Singh, or Badan Singh? Jai Singh, Sanya?
Ma'am, Badan Singh.
Sanya? What will be the answer, beta?
Badan Singh.
Yes, Badan Singh will be the correct answer. Okay. Brinda, beta, I want to ask you one thing. Is your all work done, completed, and checked? Brinda, Arnav,
Yeah,
Harshdeep,
ma'am.
Hanji, beta.
Yes, ma'am. Could you please repeat?
Is your all work completed and checked?
No, ma'am. A little bit was not completed because I was not well. I don't know like what happened. Ma'am, I'm just gonna complete it and send you everything.
Yes, complete the work and please make a PDF of it and send it to me. You can send in the group only. Shreyansh, is your
Okay,
work
ma'am.
completed and checked?
Ma'am, my work is complete but not checked.
Then please send it to me. No? so that I can check it. What's wrong? I have not received any work of yours as well. And what
My
about
long
your
answer is not complete.
Hansi beta?
Ma'am, my last long answer is not complete.
Please complete that today and send it to me. Okay. And yes,
Okay, ma'am.
Hansi beta. Nishika,
Yes, ma'am.
is your work done and checked?
Ma'am, a little bit of rest.
Please complete your work today and send it to me. Just everybody's work is checked, right?
Yes, ma'am,
Yes.
checked class only. And yesterday you
Hansi?
have checked the last answer.
What? Janya?
Ma'am, in class only you have checked my work. And ma'am, last question also you have checked last in
I'm
previous
asking about the
class.
ones whose work is not checked. Is there anyone? Good. Fine. Let's get started. So the Jat kingdom attained zenith under Surajmal. Again, very important question can be framed. Like you'll see in the exercises, not one, two, three questions have been framed from this one line that the Jat kingdom attained zenith under whom, right? Who had the Jat kingdom to attain its zenith? Zenith means Hanji. I told you this, man. Zenith means
Ma'am, zenith. Ma'am, the meaning of zenith.
yes, Kaya, the meaning of zenith.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, like it means. So, ma'am, like it's the ma'am height, or we can say that.
Yes, to reach heights, to reach success. Right? Very good, Sala. Okay. So, Badan Surajmal was the adopted son and successor of Badan Singh. A question will this become like, who was the nephew of Churaman? This question can become, who was the adopted son and successor of Badan Singh? This can also become. So, Surajmal successfully built the scattered judge Zamindars near Agra into a powerful state. Whosoever judge zamindars were there near Agra, they were scattered in different places. He called them all together, made frame a group out of them, and then turned them into a very powerful state, which we now known as the Jat state. Right? Okay, clear?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Now we have to talk about the Sikhs. So now we have been reading about the Sikhs since the last chapter. In the previous chapter also we have read quite a bit about them. Right, children, I hope you do underline and circle what do I do on the screen.
Yes.
Okay, right. So the Afghan defeat of the Maratha armies, what happened that there was a war going on between the Marathas and the Afghans, right? So when the Maratha army defeated from Afghan, this accelerated the breakaway of Punjab from Delhi. Accelerated, I told you the meaning of accelerated. What's the meaning of accelerated? You must have read this term in physics, acceleration. Have you?
Ma'am, which word was it?
Ma'am, which term?
Accelerated.
Ma'am, exclamation.
Accelerated. This word here.
Ma'am, I think.
Ma'am, it is like from the heart of the person.
Accelerated
Exhilarate.
means speed it up.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Accelerated means speed up. Started. Like,
Ma'am, like to go faster or like.
yes, we have accelerators in scooties and bikes. Do we have accelerators there in these
Bikes
vehicles?
Yes,
also.
ma'am.
And we use them to increase the speed of the vehicle.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Right. So the Afghan defeat accelerated the breakaway of Punjab from Delhi and helped in the foundation of Sikh overlordship in the northwest. What is the meaning of overlordship? What do we mean by this term?
Ma'am, like the ship of God.
Ship.
That is.
I don't know what do people just say.
meaning of
Anything that
God.
comes to your mouth to say. What's the meaning of overlordship?
overlord to means I think a ruler or a king.
Yes, overlord refers to a ruler or a king, right? So if you have seen the movie Padmavat, how many of you have seen Padmavat?
No, ma'am.
So, try to watch it if you get some time. You know why what these movies are historically important, and they have, these movies provide us some idea about the history. Okay. So Padmavat, Bajirao Mastani, Tanhaji, they're all about these rulers whom we're talking about. And if you see these movies, you'll see that okay, these rulers are very powerful. You'll see how you'll see about Marathas in this movie called, what do we call it? Yeah, Bajirao Mastani.
Padmavat.
The other one is Tanhaji. You'll see how powerful they were. In Tanhaji, they have so beautifully depicted. You'll witness a scene in which, it depicts it how the Maratha soldier was devoted towards his, warriorship. You know what? There was a Maratha warrior, right? I think I do not remember. Like I watched it years ago. So I think either his head was cut or his one arm was cut while in a war. But even after that, they have clearly shown that the other hand of the person is going on fighting
Tanaji.
in Tanaji, right? Even after his hand, or I do not know whether it was the head or the hand, even when it was cut, even after that, he did not stop or collapse. He kept on fighting, kept on fighting. This is how these people were trained, right? To fight for their state, to fight for their kingdom, right? Overlordship refers to in this movie called Alauddin Khilji, or basically if we talk about the Alauddin Khilji only. So Alauddin Khilji did what? We know that Alauddin Khilji came up as a very powerful ruler. This do we know? Right? Alauddin Khilji came out as a very powerful ruler. And what did he do while he was acquiring areas in the south? Right? He was going towards south, winning the areas. Now, what did he do? He did a very clever thingy. He did not ask everybody for their submission. He did not ask, I want all your area and I will rule it. No, he was like, you keep on ruling the way you want to, right? But accept me as your overlord. समझ में आया मतलब? You do whatever you have to do in your kingdom. You will be the king. I will not be a king, but I will be your overlord. That even if the king has to do anything, the king has to seek permission from Alauddin Khilji. He will keep paying some revenue to him. He'll keep paying taxes to Alauddin Khilji, and that's how he will be their overlord. Understood? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
The meaning of overlordship. Yes or no, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
This
ma'am.
is what overlordship was. The Sikhs had already organized themselves as a political community during the 17th century, and this helped them in the 18th century to carve out as an autonomous state for themselves, because they have already they've already organized the political community, so carving out a state for themselves was easier. They rose up against the economic and political repressions in Punjab towards the end of Aurangzeb's rule, right? While Aurangzeb's rule was ending, so these people, Mughals, came up with there were very economic and political repressions in Punjab. This is wrong, that's wrong. They were fighting for that, and the guerrilla fighters took advantage. The guerrilla fighters took advantage of it, and instability of created by the Persian and Afghan onslaught on against Delhi. When the Persian and Afghans were attacking Delhi, they took it advantage and they enriched themselves and expanded their territorial control. They did not help in Delhi, did not help Delhi. They did not help them to protect them from the Afghans or the Persians. Instead, they did what? They kept on weaving a way for themselves. Right? The Sikhs were persecuted viciously by the Mughal government. Right? In response, Guru Gobind, the 10th and the last Sikh Guru, transformed the Sikh into a warrior community. Right? This is again a very, very, very important line. Questions come from this as well. Right? The Guru Gobind Singh, the 10th and the last Guru, transformed the Sikhs into a warrior community. Clear? Okay. Understood?
Yes.
Understood?
Yes,
Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Understood.
Right. Now, Gobind Singh established Khalsa, or the Brotherhood of Sikhs, And Khalsa gives the community a deep sense of unity founded on symbolic acts. Right? Now, Khalsahood was something which gave them sense of unity. Like, like when our Indian flag came up, we always have no unity. We always get united over these things. Like if somebody is disrespecting our symbols, we get very furious about it. Like it doesn't matter who we are, our symbols matters to us, right? That's how this Khalsa gave them a deep sense of unity. Okay, clear?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else? Doubt? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Okay.
No,
Now
ma'am.
we'll talk about after his death in 1708, Khalsa rose in revolt against the Mughal authority under Band Bahadur's leadership. After whose death in 1708, children?
Mom, may you
Ma'am,
please repeat?
After whose death? Who died in 1708?
ma'am, the brother.
Ma'am, after Guru Gobind Singh death.
Guru Gobind Singh's death. Ma'am,
Yes, who was it? Guru Gobind?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, right. After the death of Guru Gobind Singh, the Khalsa rose in revolt against the Mughal authority under Band Bahadur's leadership, and the Sikhs declared their sovereign rule by striking coins in the name of Guru Nanak. Striking coins means tell me. I sent you this okay,
Mom, to point something.
by making the coinage, right? Okay. So yeah, they made coins also for them. And in the name of Guru Nanak and Guru Gobind Singh, established their own administration between Satluj and Yamuna. Band Bahadur was captured in 1715 and was sentenced to death at Delhi in 1716. Who did this? Who captured him and who sentenced him to death, children? Can you tell me?
Ma'am,
Ma'am.
Banda Bahadur.
Band
Ma'am,
Bahadur
Bahadur.
was captured, man. What are you saying, children? Who captured Band
That
Bahadur?
only.
This is the question.
Ma'am, Aurangzeb. Ma'am,
Ma'am,
Aurangzeb.
Khalsa rule.
The Mughals did that. Who did that?
The Mughals.
Mughals.
Even you people are. I do not know where do you be in the class. It was Band Bahadur who was captured by the Mughals.
Ma'am, by Mughal Empire, Aurangzeb.
Yes, right. By the early 1800s, the Sikhs managed to carve out an independent kingdom in the Mughal Empire, which they retained until the British annexations in 1850s. And by the 1800s, like we know, the Mughal rule ended completely, and then the Sikhs made an independent kingdom for themselves, right? And their kingdom remained independent until and unless the Britishers annexed their kingdom. Okay, is it clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if tomorrow I'll be asking you some
Yes.
questions from this, will you be in a state to give me answers?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, please tell the again meaning of striking coins.
Meaning of striking coins is the made coins. Since I'm sending
Okay,
you a
ma'am.
video, in this they have shown how to make fake medieval coins. Would you be able to make these? Just have a look at it.
Okay.
Just have a look at the video and tell me whether will you be able to make this or not. They are making these coins with dough. Now what is a dough?
Ma'am, it's a mixture of something like of ma'am, like we can make of cement or with flour.
Ma'am, can we make it with clay?
You can just have you can take idea from this video and then you can make the way you want to. Will you be able to do that? Tomorrow is Sunday. Will you be able to send it to me by tomorrow?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am, of course.
Yes,
Need to see the video?
I'm watching.
Mom, I'm just changing its speed so I can watch it.
Yeah, you can change the speed. You can watch it later and you can let me know whether it is. I think there's nothing difficult in that. Instead of like you need to bake, they have baked the coins into an oven. You can just keep them under the sun for a while. So they'll be hard if you do not have oven or something like that. Right?
Mom, can we took a toothpick instead of that?
Obviously,
What they are.
you can do with the things available to you. Can you?
Mom, watch.
Oh, yes, let me know.
Ma'am, I used to take a coin and I just shade that over ma'am the paper and ma'am the like all the things that the coin have ma'am that comes on the paper.
What, Peter? What did you say?
Ma'am, like I used to take a coin and ma'am, I just cover that with a paper and ma'am, I just shade that with
Yeah,
pencil.
shading we have
Ma'am,
also done. But they have here they're making medieval coins as well, no?
yes,
Like they have to use some other design to make on it. You can make your own design. You can also make your own coins. Will you be able to do that? I think this is easy. We can do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
it's
they have
easy.
made the ma'am design as plus and then dots. Ma'am, they have made like that.
Yes. Why have they made like that? What are you asking?
Maybe because in ancient time it is there like this
Yeah,
type of
because
coins
this
are.
and they are not of India, they're of ancient time. Maybe these kinds are used of these kind of coins are used. So you can also make your own and you can just send them to me by tomorrow. Will you be able to?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? I think it's very easy, not difficult.
ma'am, I have made a coin, ma'am, earlier like in summer vacations or like that. I made a
And you
coin
can
of
also make
coin.
along with these coins, you can also make a manuscript. You know that?
Yes, ma'am, we will just like ma'am burn the paper or like that.
You can take a paper, crumble it up, right? And coffee, take a pouch of coffee, mix it with water, right? And then apply the mixture with a brush on the paper. Okay, and then just take a candle, burn the edges of the paper with the candle. It will give you the look of a manuscript. You can just do write a quote on it, and then it will be a
Ma'am, ma'am, like ma'am, we having like the fake collections of early medieval period.
yeah, that's
Ma'am, can I send a pic, ma'am, of coins, ma'am, like file, ma'am, shared that.
show me
Ma'am, just a second.
those coins. That I got it, but then I want you to make it. So if we'll be having an exhibition by in May, in the month of May or what, no, we can just use all these material in the exhibition. Okay. Okay, kids.
Okay, ma'am.
I'll wait
Yes.
tomorrow.